Everyone shares. After Pentecost, Jesus' disciples began telling everyone the good news about Jesus, just like he had told them to do. Every day, more people heard the good news about Jesus and became part of God's family. The new believers and the followers of Jesus became the first church. During the day, the people who loved Jesus worked hard at their jobs. Some were bakers who baked bread all day. Some were carpenters who were busy sawing, nailing, and building. Others were farming, busy caring for their crops and animals, while some were innkeepers busy caring for tired travelers at an inn. Still others sold perfume to the many people who traveled through Jerusalem. But all day long the believers smiled as they worked because they knew that they would get together that night. The people in Jerusalem noticed that there was a difference with the believers. They were happy, smiling, and eager to be with each other. It had been a busy day. They had worked hard and now they were hungry. In the evening, those who loved Jesus met together at someone's house. Food always seemed to taste better when they ate and shared together. Someone brought some fresh bread. Some brought fresh fruit and vegetables from their gardens. Others brought some fish. They all shared what they had, and they were glad to be together to share supper with each other. Their hearts were filled with joy as they ate together. After dinner came the children's favorite time of the evening. Everyone had eaten plenty of good food. They joined together to sing praises to God. They sang and they clapped as they praised God. The parents would have taught their children how to play a tambourine as they joined in the worshiping God with songs. How happy they were to be together and sing about God's unending love. As the believers gathered together in the evening, they remembered Jesus and all the good things he had done. They remembered the stories that he had told about God. For some of the new believers, this was the first time they had heard stories about Jesus. During this time, the believers also listened to Jesus' disciples teach about God and how to love Jesus more every day. But most of all, they remembered how God loved them. Whenever they were together, the believers prayed to God. They thanked him for loving them so much and for blessing them with all the good things. They asked God to be with them, to care for their families and their friends. They also asked God to help them share Jesus' love with other people every day. Before they went back to their own homes each night, the believers shared what they could do to help others. No one needed to go hungry or be alone or homeless or in need of clothes to wear, because the people that loved Jesus loved one another too. They were willing to share with anyone who was in need. The believers were very unselfish. Everyone shared what they had with each other. Barnabas had come from a faraway country. He heard about some of the needs of the believers in Jerusalem. He sold a large piece of land and gave the money to the disciples. The money was used to help many people. Other believers sold their land and used the money to help others. Some even sold their houses. Many people were helped because people were so willing to share what they had with others who needed it. The people who loved Jesus and loved others were happy to be together to eat, to sing, study, pray, and share. Many other people liked the believers. When they saw how Jesus' followers loved each other and shared with others, many of them wanted to become followers of Jesus too. Every day, more people believed in Jesus and become part of this very first church. The believers in the very first church shared what they had. That is still part of God's plan for our church today. God tells us, be generous and be ready to share. 1 Timothy 6:18. What do you have that you can share with others? What can your family do to share with others who are in need? What can your class do to share with others who don't have very much? What is your church doing to share with others?